Guys, RegPacks launched in 2012, had their first $1 million year in 2016. Today, do over $10 million in revenue across 1,400 summer camps, after school programs, NFL camps, things of that nature. Each customer pays on average, call it $7,000 per year across three lines of business. One is a percent of GMV. One's purchase protection when you buy tickets for your kids if they get sick, you want your money back. And the other is a pure SaaS fee, right? 3K per year on the SaaS fee per seat model. Scaling nicely, and they've done it all bootstrapped, which we love. Incredible growth here with a team of 30. So really high revenue per employee of 350K. Impressive story here. Hey folks, my guest today is Asaf. He is building a company called RegPacks. It's regpacks.com, which is registration and payment processing. Asaf, you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, sure.
All right, registration and payment processing for what industry?
So we are what you can call like a Shopify for services. Basically, the service industry, mainly the service industry. Right now, we serve mainly education, camps, courses, after-school programs, schools, and we're expanding also to more industries as we grow.
Mm-hmm. And I guess, why do you intimately know this space as well? Did you have your own camp, after-school camp program before this, or how do you know about the problem?
So actually, this is a nice story. This all started when I was doing my PhD at Berkeley, and I was doing a PhD in computer science and built a system that has no constants in it. Everything's a variable. And as I was working on this, I asked myself, okay, what industry would need something like that? It's basically what is called the meta-programming problem. And as I was looking, I saw the service industry in general, and especially the education industry in the service industry, and it was extremely fragmented. And the reason that it's extremely fragmented is because it has a very unique need, a need for onboarding. Like when you register for a camp or for a course or for a university, for a school, you need to onboard, right? Or for an event, a conference, doesn't matter. Anything that is based on a service, you have to onboard. Unlike buying a pen or a computer. And this onboarding creates this fragmentation in the market because every onboarding is different. And then I understood, okay, this solution that I created at Berkeley can actually work exactly for that because it can consolidate this type of fragmentation.
Understood. And so how do you so like for an after camp or after school program that might use you, how do you make money? Do you charge them a flat fee or percent of revenue? How do you make money?
There are actually two revenue streams here. One is the basic SaaS revenue stream, paying for subscription seats. So every admin, and we have like levels of admin. And the other one is through the payment processing. We have very special deals with payment processors, and we offer to the end client a lot of advantages working through us when they're processing their payments, and we take a share out of that.
And how much? So if I put $100 through your program, what would you keep?
If you put $100 through the program, this most likely the organization would pay something like $2.30, and I would keep 30 cents out of that.
Wow. Okay. The other $2 goes to what? To Visa, MasterCard, somebody else?
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay. So you're keeping, gosh, I mean, that's like, so you're keeping under one, you're keeping like 0.3% of your total GMV.
Exactly.
Okay. Interesting. Is there room to flex that up, or is that sort of market rate?
There is room to flex that up. And it really depends. If you want, we can go into it. It's like there are situations where we actually make close to 1%. Okay, and it really depends on the type of card that is being used. If it's a enterprise card or if it's a debit card, if they're paying through ACH, the whole way that payments works is very complex.
I know. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I know it's complex, but you would say your your weighted average, though, you would say is 0.3%.
No, the weighted average is 1%.
Oh, it is 1%. Okay, cool. It's got it. So if someone uses the perfect transaction card, so no Amex, something super simple,
okay,
right? Then you can earn, as high as, you might take it, sorry. If there's not a lot of credit card processing fees, you could take as much as 1%. If there's a lot of fees, depending on how they use it or the ACH, you might take as little as 0.3%.
Yeah. And but if you ask about like in the perfect situation, we could take out of the 2.3%, we would take like 2.29.
And what would that be? Would that be like a check
ACH.
mail then? Oh, ACH. Okay.
ACH.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here, and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview.
What about if you had to split these up? So look at your total revenue last month. What percent was SaaS versus payment processing, would you say?
Payment processing is about 40%.
Okay.
SaaS is 40%. And then we also offer a program called Purchase Protection for the organizations, which allows them the end user to protect themselves against death, sickness, etc. And that's about 20% of our revenue.
I don't understand that. So I spend $50 to buy the after camp, program. I can go climbing through Yellowstone, and basically I'm saying if I die between now when I purchase my ticket, when the hike starts, then I have protection.
Yep. Basically,
people care about that. So if I buy a ticket today to hike Yellowstone through your program, and the hike is in a week, I'm going to pay something to prevent, like if I die, get a refund.
If you're sending your kids to a camp that costs $2,000 a week, you will protect them. Because if they're sick for 1 week, you're out of $2,000.
Oh, I see. So that someone would pay $200 where you'll refund the $2,000. It's basically insurance. You'll refund the $2,000 if the kids are sick and can't go.
Exactly.
Oh,
it can be based on a week. Like if you take the kid to the camp for like 6 weeks and only in 1 week they're sick, fine. You get only for that week. That's fine.
I see. Okay. And then if we just look at the SaaS component of your business, what does the average after school program or camp pay you per month to use the technology?
Between $2K to $4K.
Wow, per month?
Per year.
Oh, per year. Okay, got it. Per year. And what do you price on? Is it number of courses offered, number of days in session?
It's just a seat. Just a seat.
Just seat. Okay, so it's the number of camp counselors that need or the camp admins that need to use the software.
Like you have a full-time admin, which a full-time admin would be like probably the director. Okay, then you would probably have 1 or 2 financial admins, which would be the administrators that are sitting in the back office, and the counselors will be free, right? Because they don't need access to financial information and stuff like that. They only see the let's say the camper information.
I see.
Actually, what I want to talk about, which is the most interesting part that RegPack does.
Well, hold on, Asaf, let me just finish out the economics here, then we can go down the product roadmap for a second. Just to be clear, if you're doing about $3K per year on the SaaS model, and that's 40%, you make something like another $3K on processing and then another, call it like 1,500 on the purchase protection. So you're making something like 7K per customer per year all in.
Between 7 to 10, yeah. Like depends. Like you have clients that you make 100K off of them, and you have clients that you make like basically the minimum you would make off of clients is 5.
Yep.
The max we have clients that we make 100, 150 off.
Okay. So now go down where you're going to go down. It sounds like a product feature.
So one of the things that we introduced last year, which I think is the most important thing, the most interesting thing that we did, is that we brought payment installments into the service industry, which is very similar to buy now, pay later, but without credit checks and without any financial risk for anybody. What we did is, okay, let's take the camp, because that's like the easiest one to think about, right? When I'm registering my kid to the camp, normally I'm doing it on January, February, March, right? And then he's going to the camp probably in June or July. So there's a time span between the moment that I did the registration or the application and when the service is actually given. So what we did is we created an algorithm that is able to understand when the organization actually needs the money to serve that specific order, and we allow the end user to pay in installments until that time. So for example, if I go in, I might see that I can pay in 6 installments. If you go in, you might see that you can pay 9 installments, depending on what you ordered, depending on the time span and like how much the service is actually costing the organization. So what is happening is I go into the page to pay, and I see the ability to pay in installments. But unlike buy now, pay later, I don't need to do a credit check, and I am not creating any risk because it's connected to when the organization will actually need the money. Now, organizations that have implemented this new feature of automatic installments have seen a 30% revenue growth right off the bat, just from implementing that. Because what happens if I'm a parent and I go in and I need to pay, I don't know, for 5 weeks, let's say $5,000. I don't have $5,000 right now, so I'm going to wait another month or two when I have the money, right? Or I'm going to put it on my credit card and then pay interest.
Asaf, what's your markup? If the wholesale price is $5,000 and you offer an installment plan, are they going to pay $6,000 total all in over $6,000 payments?
They pay only $5,000.
Okay, so who's associating with the risk if somebody only makes 2 payments and then goes broke and can't make the rest of the payment?
That's the trick.
Asaf, listen to my question really quick. If I'm a parent, tells a camp, they buy through the camp website using your software, they pay $3,000, right? But I'm going to pay a bunch of payments of $500. Okay. Yeah. My credit card shuts down or expires 2 payments in. The camp has held a spot for me already, right? And you haven't delivered the full payments back to the camp for that, the $500 per month payments. Who has that? That is real risk. Who has that risk on their balance sheet?
That's no risk because you paid 2 payments, which you're not going to get back, and the camp reopens the spot.
So who keeps the money of the 2 payments already made?
It still has 4 months to fill that spot.
So who keeps the 2 $500 payments I already made before I couldn't pay more?
Basically the camp, unless they want to give it back.
Do you require they give it back if they sell the seat to somebody else?
We don't deal with that at all. That's between the camp and the parent. Which, by the way, we have 97% payments on the installment plans that go through completely. Only 3% of the payments don't go through.
There's an aspect here, though, of time value of money, right? If the camp is able to get $5,000 on Jan 1st versus June 1st, they have 6 extra months to invest the $5K to make the camp better. So why wouldn't they charge more if someone's on a payment plan?
First of all, they can, but nobody does that because they can close their camp faster. And then they know that the camp is just done. Mm-hmm. If they know that they are fully booked in, I don't know, March, instead of continuing to spend marketing dollars until June, that's worth a lot more than doing a markup.
I see. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. And sorry, just put this on a timeline for me. When did you first write the first lines of code for this? What year?
I don't when I actually wrote code that was not connected to Berkeley was 2012.
Okay, so you launched the company in 2012, and how many customers today?
Today we have about, if I'm not mistaken, 1,500 organizations.
1,500 are actively paying you?
Yes.
Okay, so if we take that $7,000 ACV you gave earlier, average contract value per year, times 1,500, that would put you at 10.5 million a year in revenue. Is that accurate?
More or less.
Are you sure? Where are those
I know
numbers
exactly my
wrong?
revenue, but I don't want to share it because we're a private company.
Well, but you've given me two numbers, right? And you've already said the two numbers, and average contract value times customer count should equal your revenue. So why would they not? Is your ACV actually lower than 7 grand?
No, because I said some of them are higher.
Okay, so you're doing more than 10.5 million per year right now in revenue.
Correct.
Okay, very cool. Congratulations. That's exciting. How have you capitalized the business? Bootstrapped or raised capital?
Totally bootstrapped. Never
That's
taken a loan.
that's great. What's the team look like today? How many folks full time?
Full time, we have 30 people.
Okay, 30. I mean, that's sorry, just
It's very efficient, yes.
yeah. So how have you got? I mean, that's $350,000 in revenue per employee. Most bootstrap companies at your stage are doing something like 200K in revenue per employee. So how are you so efficient? Are these like cheap engineers somewhere overseas, or how do you get the efficiency?
We have very, very good engineers, but very few of them.
Okay, that didn't answer my question. So how? Where do you get the fit? You're generating almost 2x the average revenue per employee as others in your same spot. How are you getting that extra efficiency?
Because the people that are first of all, we do a lot of automation. We're very data oriented. Most of the people that are in the company are Berkeley grads, so we know how to look at data and how to make sure that things are efficient. That's one. Two, we build the software in a way that there is very little development debt. So the features that we build or the updates that we do are minimal right now. So we're focusing mainly on marketing and sales. Our support is extremely efficient. We're using AI for support. We're using the ability to we have this tier structure where we use different tiers based on the client income that they create, and based on that we understand who needs to get answered faster. And that way we're making sure that the clients that are generating the most revenue are always getting the best type of service and never leaving. We have another system that allows us to understand which clients there's a higher probability of them churning or not, okay, based on how they're using the system and what they're doing in the system. And then based on that, we make sure that the clients that there's a higher probability of them churning, we make sure that they are using the parts that they should be using. Like I said, we're very efficient.
Okay, and just to be clear, so we understand growth rate here, it's impressive, bootstrapped. If you're at north of 10.5 million ARR today in revenue, where were you exactly 1 year ago?
What is that, 7?
Okay, so I mean, that's pretty great. So how did you get a 30-40% year-over-year growth? Was it expanding into historical accounts or adding brand new customers altogether?
Both. I think it's both. We've also, the part of purchase protection has grown a lot in the last 2 years. We have also, one of the things that is very unique in RegPack, which is very different than other softwares in this space, is that what happens normally is that softwares are vertical specific. Okay, so for example, a school would use one software for the conference, one software for the camp, one software for the after school, et cetera, et cetera. Right now, what happens with RegPack, because it can work in multiple verticals. When you get a client, you start working with that organization to go into additional verticals for that organization. Now, once they have gone into 2 or 3 verticals, that's it. It's game over. They cannot leave. And why can't they leave? Because it's not about replacing RegPack for a different software. It's replacing RegPack for multiple softwares, and nobody's going to do that unless we're terrible, which we're not. Okay, so we grow within the organization, normally within different departments. They tell us like, oh, talk to that department. That has nothing to do with me, but they're recommending you. They're saying like, Nathan, hey, you should use RegPack for the stuff that you do. So we go within the organization, and we also, have a very strong SEO and sales mechanism. We have BDRs, we have outbound sales.
How many folks carry a quota at RegPacks?
How many folks?
How many people carry a quota?
Oh, what is that? 7?
Okay, wow. Okay, so and then I guess how many of the 30 are engineers?
2.
Because you have 2 engineers. God, I guess I'm just shocked that 2 engineers have built a SaaS platform doing 10.5 million a year in revenue.
It's all about the engineering. By the way, I'm one of them.
Makes sense. And sorry, and just to be clear too, so The 7 million, I just want to make sure that's not like ticket volume. That's that's just your take rate, right? The 0.3 to 2% should be much higher. Yeah. Do you that's obviously a leading indicator for your growth. I mean, are you close to getting, past the $1 billion per year mark in terms of GMV going through the platform?
Not yet. No.
Is that something you think in like next year, or it's further out?
I think it will take like 3 years.
Okay. 3 years. All right. 2 years. Last question before we wrap up. Do you remember your first $1 million year?
I remember my first month with $6,000. It was impressive. I was very happy. The first $1 million, yes, I think it was on year 4.
Okay, so that would have been 2016?
Yep.
Oh, very cool.
And I remember the first time I actually took a salary, which was in 2019.
That's awesome. And a sole founder, or you have co-founders?
You can say a sole founder because the other co-founders have a small portion.
Okay, but you own, call it more than 70% of the company?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's wrap up here, Asaf, with the famous 5. Number 1, your favorite book.
My favorite book? It's actually, it's I don't know how it's called in English, but it's God is in the Details.
Okay. Devil in the Details?
Sorry?
Is it God is in the Details?
God is in the Details.
All right,
it's a love story that is connected also to, I don't know, how the world works, you would say.
Got it. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I think that Jeff Bezos is very impressive.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building reg packs?
For billing or building?
Building.
Oh, building. I don't use online tools actually.
GitHub, GitLab. I mean, there's got to be some kind of tools
GitHub,
you use.
GitHub, yeah, I guess.
Okay. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
When I actually can sleep, then it's like 5.5 hours. When I can't sleep, it's 3.5.
And situation, married, single, kids?
Married with 2 kids.
Oh, that's great. And how old are you?
Me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm 50.
50. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Calling myself as 50.
You're what?
Myself as a 50-year-old.
Okay, for someone else who's listening to this episode who's 20 years old, what's a piece of life advice you'd give them?
Everything is your life. Everything. Your family, your work, your workouts, your mental health. Everything is part of your life. Don't split it up.
Guys, RegPacks launched in 2012, had their first $1 million year in 2016. Today, do over $10 million in revenue across 1,400 summer camps, after-school programs, NFL camps, things of that nature. Each customer pays on average, call it $7,000 per year across 3 lines of business. One is a % of GMV. One's purchase protection when you buy tickets for your kids if they get sick, you want your money back. And the other is a pure SaaS fee, right? $3K per year on the SaaS fee per seat model. Scaling nicely, and they've done it all bootstrapped, which we love. Incredible growth here with a team of 30. So really high revenue per employee of $350K. Impressive story here, Asaf. Thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS
founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company, or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them, and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.